This is Dr. Madhu Chopra again, continuing my series on those smart young girls who have taken that leap of faith, and turned themselves into absolutely powerhouse entrepreneurs, not just by sheer hard work or living a dream. They have overcome obstacles, they have overcome bias, and yet made a beautiful place for themselves in their chosen field, which is like huge, but they have made big. So today I have with me Khyati Kale and Pooja Sachdeva. Both of them have ventured through many other businesses and landed in a spot, in their sweet spot. And yes, as you can see, they love food and they make lovely food, and I love their food. Meet Khyati and meet Pooja. Let's start with it. Like I said, you meandered through a lot of other businesses. So, Pooja, can I start with you? How did you, what knocked you into becoming a celebrity chef or a good, awesome chef?
So, so of course, one is just the sheer love of good food, right? That is primary. But the second and very, I think, maybe important factor here was that everyone remembered me for the food I cooked. When they ate food from me, we like every time I met that person after, or there was a call, like Pooja, we love what you make.
Did
And
you
I was not
just stumble into it?
so I was not even a chef actually. I was just someone who loved cooking, and I would just say this, it's a big blessing of my grandmother and my ancestors who are also so particular about the food that was served at home. It was served in a certain way, it was made in a certain way, no cutting corners. So I mean, I'm grateful to have experienced that so that I can bring that out here. So yeah, that's how food, that's how I got into this food journey. I think that was one of the very big propelling factors, that I was always remembered for the food I cooked.
You were never a chef,
No.
ever. You just loved food. But to start with, can I say, Pooja, who are you?
Um, so over the years, who I am has transformed and developed into the person I am today for now. I won't even say that I'm going to hold on to this forever, because I just believe in transcending with complete gratitude and acceptance to what is. This is what I have learned in my journey so far, and I wish to continue this. So today I'm doing this, and I very proudly, create this beautiful, honest food at Gourmetly Yours. Tomorrow I may be doing something else with food in the same space. We have so many ideas. We want to adopt a village. We want to do this. We want to women empowerment. There's so much, and wherever that journey takes us, what I do know is that it will always be a journey with food, with honesty and integrity.
Good, but does that say, when I ask you who are you, where were you born?
My
And
personal
what about your parents? Did they love you for your love for food?
so I was born in Bombay, born and brought up in Bandra. My grandparents are from town, Valkeshwar. A very large part of my mother's family comes from East Africa, the Gujarati community there, and they have a particular way of food and the dialect, and it's very different to the other Gujaratis. So, growing up, all my friends were like, I don't think you're Gujarati. Your food is also not like a Gujarati's food. Like, it's not so sweet, it's not so much garam masala, it's very simple and it's differently flavored. And I add that to some of my cuisine now. So, and everyone is like, wow, what is this? So that's where I come from. My father was a businessman. We had factories. We still have the factories in Dahisar and Andheri, whatever. So typical business family. Two sisters, went to a posh school, lived in Bandra, had everything. The the love for food was always put on a backseat because I was always overweight, even as a kid, and the whole thing was like lose weight, lose weight. So there was a fair amount of disassociation to food growing up. But yeah, they loved the cooking I did. Like, I would give surprise birthday parties for my mom. Even as a 13-year-old, I would call all her friends, bake the cake, make the food, make starters. So yeah, there was a lot of appreciation with food. I was always remembered and recognized for my food.
When I listen to you talk about food, you're just dripping love.
Yes,
Dripping love. It's
Yeah.
so nice to hear that.
that's
Khyati,
true.
what about you? You also traversed through you meandered through life and eventually found your new love.
Yes. So food was always love.
It was also.
I mean, a lot of our friendship is, over chai and nashta and dinners at Pooja's
So you all
house.
have been friends for long?
We've been friends for 15 years.
Oh, wonderful.
Thanks to my husband. Uh, that's how I connected with Pooja. But growing up, uh, so I come from a very middle class family, studied in boarding school. My dad was very unwell, so we had to go to boarding school. And he passed away when I was 5 and my brother was 2.5.
Oh dear.
So brought up
So
by a
sorry.
single mother, and every treat was a food treat. Like if she wanted us to do a task, it was all connected. Okay, you do this and you will get this, and it was a food treat. So there was always excitement about eating out, eating something different, something new, and that's how childhood has been. Like looking forward to food memories. So th- so food was always love. Then growing up, I've studied physiotherapy, never practiced, been into my family business, then moved into starting off my own journey in the health and wellness space, worked with really big brands in the health and wellness space where I discovered healthy food. I mean, there was a phase of eating everything possible to a phase of eating everything healthy, and now I'm back to
Good
a
food.
business of food.
Good food or
Yes,
healthy food?
good, sometimes healthy, but amazing
Mostly
food.
good
Like
food.
good quality food, because we are so particular about the quality that we offer. And the whole idea of starting this was we both love food and we wanted to give people an experience that we would like to experience. Therefore, everything we do comes with so much love. It comes with so much excitement to try something, to do different, to create something. So yeah, so food has always been
So
love.
you all didn't begin with food at all, except for your love for food. Where did life start for you as a grown-up working woman?
So I started as a production manager on a set, controller I think, on a set. I used to do ad films, I was on the back, behind the camera, and I used to love that. That was just wow. But even then, I was in charge of the food on the set. So it subtly, it never went anywhere. Now that when I think back, I'm like, it was always there. I just didn't want to be associated with it.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
guess it took so long to come here. And I did that for a while. Then I had a baby. My family started. So I took a little bit of a back seat. I worked on myself a lot in those few years. Uh, I don't like to use the word spirituality, but yeah, we grew a little bit, became a little bit more whole and complete in that sense. Um, Healed wherever it was necessary to heal. And in that journey, somewhere the acceptance of me and food came up. And then it
Good.
was only a matter of time. How will this change into something that I do uh, as a business, perhaps? But it was always something was growing there. It just took a little while to shape into something tangible today.
So how long back did this thing happen, this transition happen, that you started thinking of food and business? Did something just hit you on your head?
2022, 21, 22 is
Yeah.
when it started.
Because somebody told you to turn it into business because of your passion, or
So we
you
have
woke
a
up with
very
a dream
dear
one
friend.
morning?
At that point in our life, he was like our mentor, and he was stranded at the Land's End during COVID with no food, obviously only the hotel food, and I live very close to Land's End. So I used to send him some food like dabba bhej diya, and I sent to him something called a khakra chevda that I used to make for my son, for like in the house, because it's healthy, roti bhi use ho jati hai. Like I just said, let's make this, it's something to make new. And he said, you are Annapurna, and you do anything with food, you're going to just make a lot of money. And you must do something with food because it's in your hand. Like the whole world is worried about rush, and you're making like different things at home. Where are you getting all this? And literally through COVID, there was never a time that I didn't have a particular ingredient to make something. I mean, today when I look back, it's just like I don't know how it happened. I used to make nachos and cheese sauce also in COVID because I had all the ingredients at home.
Oh, you can make nachos also at home.
Yeah.
Then you
Pooja
actually,
can make everything at home
yeah,
and make
you're
it well.
really gifted. So, did you have to take some formal education to follow your passion? Or?
I did. I did do a diploma in culinary arts because I just wanted to see how it is done at a professional level. I was doing it at home. I was doing it through love, through passion, which is still a very vital ingredient. But to run a business, you need to have some qualification to be able to work in that environment and to make it easier for everyone else also to work with you. Like I could still do it anyhow, but my team would have found it difficult if I didn't have the financial know-how of how to run a kitchen. And
So, did you have to study business administration or BBA or MBA or marketing or
so I come from a business
entrepreneurship?
family, right?
Oh,
So
so it's in your
business is
blood,
in my blood, I think.
In your DNA.
In my DNA. So I don't I don't do business. It's just I'm just business. I just think business, I think. And it was not so obvious to me till we started another hospitality. Yeah, it comes naturally to me for the most part.
Khyati, what little I know of you, I know you are a strategist and you are amazing with the media and brand promotions. What kind of education did you have, and why did you start with that and end with this? I won't call it end, but landed into
Landed here. So by qualification, I've studied physiotherapy. I never practiced for a day, but it's something like my parents, my mother especially wanted me to get into the medical field, and my brother to get into the engineering field. That's how we landed up here. I mean, landed up in those colleges.
Yeah.
Then, as I was doing that, I used to travel from Bombay to Thane for my college. And in that 1.5 hours, instead of just sitting in the train, I would always think of, how do I utilize my time well? So I told my mom, she's been a manufacturer of party decoration. I said, let me see what I can do in this space, because I already knew how to get things, how to source things, and how to sell it to the right people. So I got into the trading of plastic containers, started creating new products for my mom's company, like just out of usage of how do I use my time best. And that turned out into something very exciting. My first order, I remember back in the day, I got was from Big Bazaar then. And they wanted these special Christmas hats, which I found a tailor. I caught him, I made him make it, I gave them a sample, they loved it, and they were willing to pay me the price I asked for, and it just went through. And that was a huge boost of confidence, and I was just 19 years old, so just out of college, just trying to figure life out. But there was a lot of excitement to do business, and I loved money, so this seemed like quick, easy money. So that's how I got into business on my own. And of course, my mom was a big support, and she always encouraged me and my brother to pursue what we like, but keep your formal education going. Like, don't leave that. So that's how it started. Then grew into, I got into network marketing. I did that for 8 years, I think 8 to 10 years. And that is where I learned a lot about dealing with people, how to connect, how to speak to them. And I think I've picked up that skill really well. So I'm very good with people, talking to them, understanding what they require, and then trying to see if I can help. That's where I learned those skills. And then I got into the health and wellness space. where I did marketing and PR for brands, for personal brands, for brands, and it's been a good 8 years journey there. Then Pooja and I always have been talking about food.
Did you ever make your own brand? Did you escalate your own, scale your own brand?
No, I didn't.
Is there anything like Khyati?
No, there isn't. There isn't. I've always worked as consultants for different brands and and got them recognition, got them the limelight.
Oh, but you said you love money.
I was making the
at
money.
19 you made good money
Yeah.
with your own business sense.
Yes.
You didn't want to pursue that again. Further it.
So there was a lot of competition that grew in that space. That's when a lot of products started coming from China, which was much cheaper
Okay.
and much easily available, and it just kind of killed that market. And I realized it, and I stepped back. So
Smart girl.
I mean, it was like the most natural thing to do.
Yeah.
And I've seen my mother work really hard. So my first goal in life was to free her up. Like free her up from working long enough. So that's when I got into network marketing. Of course, made a lot of money there as well. But it didn't last forever. It was like a good 8-10 years, and then I moved on to something else. Each time I've started something new, I've started from scratch. Like done the basic work, made my connections, and grew up from there. Like whether it was network
So
marketing,
did you have
whether
to
it was
switch
health
your
and wellness.
jobs due to gender bias or disagreements or strong-headed Khyati?
So I would say my tolerance levels are quite high. It's very hard for people to push
Shake
back.
you?
Yeah,
Okay.
push me back. And I also don't give up very easily. I mean, it sometimes doesn't work in my favor, but I'm there. Like I'm there, solid, strong,
Perseverance.
perseverance. So, not due to gender bias, I've never been pushed back, but I was aware of what's happening around me. Especially now that we are in this industry, which is so male dominated and labor dominated, that there has been a lot of times when we had to stand up and say we are a woman run business, but we are a solid one. Like, don't mess with us. So we've had those moments in our company, which were not something that, like, it did bring the side of us which we had never seen. Like, I had never seen myself getting angry, but this did bring out. But we knew at the end of the day it was for the right reasons. It was with the right intention, and it was to create a win-win situation for all. It was never personal or for any negative, targeted or negative intentions.
So in your mind, Pooja, if you didn't come from a business background, like some of the girls that I know who want to go ahead and they're thinking about it but they don't know how to go. So what would be your advice to such girls who have no business background but they want to foray into something that is their own business, their own stuff?
So, like, I'll be really honest here. Whilst I am from the business background and I know how to do business, I would not have taken this step without Khyati. So, my advice to everyone is find your Khyati. Like, it's not a, honestly, to me, it's not a one-person job. I can create good food, but I'm limited to that. I mean, I get a few things. Okay, we work on it together, but for a large part of the positioning of the company, how to handle the brand, how to handle the finances, the marketing, it's all her, and I cannot take credit for that. So
You
To
have to
me-
find a partner who has those
yes,
strengths.
you need to either you have it or you find the person who you can trust who has that. So for a startup to hire someone with this much would not financially work out also. So I think it would just be natural, smarter thought process to have someone who's equally in it, has a stake in the company, and who wants the company to grow as much. And that just makes the journey. And if that person's your best friend, you hit jackpot.
Yeah. So tell me, Khyati, suppose somebody wants to set up a business and they have big dreams but they don't have big funds. So is there any scheme available to such people who want to do something but don't know how to access funds besides good friends who would invest?
So, one is that with this company, like I wouldn't have done this if it was not for Pooja to start from that, because I have always worked by myself. I've been a one-man army all my career, and not for any other reason, but you know, I know exactly what I want to do, and I know I can get that done.
You learnt on the job.
I learned on the job. I don't have a formal education, like I don't have an MBA or a BBA, though I always thought should I get one. But my experience has taught me a lot, and I hope that someday I can go to one of the top schools to study, just to like grow from where I am. But this venture, I would not have thought of starting something on my
Suppose
own.
there was
at this
no
stage.
investor like Pooja, maybe if she invested somebody has to have
Both of us have
invested.
invested in the
You've
company
invested
equally.
funds together.
And one of the things that I think we both have that had that when we started, is we will start with whatever we have. We It was very easy for us to reach out to our contacts and get money, and I assure you that there'll be hundreds of people willing to put money on me and Pooja, because that's the credibility we have. But we started with our own personal money, started this company. We started in a small kitchen of 100 square feet with one induction and one fridge.
What?
We've done, I think, almost 10 parties with just that. Of course, we hired the team as and when
As
we
and
needed
when
for
needed.
with people
freelance.
and like liaison with friends and known chefs and like chalo we know the chef aake thoda help kar do, we have a party. So it was very humble beginnings, and I think that is very important for any startup.
Yeah.
The minute you get this influx of money and then there's someone else controlling, you lose somewhere the essence of why you started and what you
Correct.
started. So to go back to your question of someone doesn't have the funds, I would always say start small, start with what you have, make it doable, have sales first, figure where you're going to sell your product, sell a little bit. जब समझ में आएगा कि ये बिकने वाला, because in the mind everything seems wow, ये बिकेगा कि नहीं बिकेगा वो तब ही समझ में आता है जब कोई उसके लिए पैसा
पैसा
देगा.
देगा.
Producing and making is, I think, simpler than sales and marketing.
Correct.
You have to find that niche, that
So it
place.
has to be sellable, it has to be something that somebody wants to buy. So that gap also has to be there in the market, right? कि like ये product नहीं मिलता है, like you're fulfilling a need. And if you have that, then you will be able to have enough sales to sustain and grow up to a point. I feel you with very like literally 1 or 2 lakh rupees also you can start. I think that's
Yeah.
how we started.
My first business, I started with literally no money. I went to the people I knew. I said I need 30 days credit, and I got that credit because I guess my mom was known. So I started and I made the first. I got the business, I made the money, I paid them, I kept the profits. I used that money to do something else. So all my businesses, I have never borrowed money and started a business. I've done with whatever little I have, and like she said, the product has to have a customer to buy it and pay for it.
Absolutely.
Once you know of that, once you know you're bridging a gap, and it's at a decent price point, people are there to buy it. So I think that homework was already done by Pooja, because she was doing home catering for about a year, a
Yeah.
year before we officially started Another Hospitality. But again, when we did start Another Hospitality, we started with very little money. The induction came from her house, the fridge came from my house. That's how we started. We just got the space, so we have a official address, we have all the licenses, we have all the paperwork to say we are a catering
I think
company.
it was about this much our first kitchen, and in that we did everything.
Everything.
We had our meetings, we did our tastings, we did our
We did our
crockery,
hampers.
everything, and it was just this much.
We used to rent our crockery. Cut to 1.5 years later, we have a 800 square foot kitchen. We have 7 people who work for us. We have all the possible equipment required to make a meal for 2,000 to 3,000 people easy. So that's the journey.
Wow, that's amazing.
With no loans, with no investor from the outside,
And no credit.
and no credits.
That's brilliant.
And
That
we are not bleeding money, but we
this
make
is so inspiring and so good. So you have to have dreams. You have to have good friends. You have to have talent. immense amount of talent. You don't have to have formal education for that. And you have to find your market, a niche market for yourself.
Yeah.
That's some
Yes.
takeaway that anybody can take from your life story,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful. So, what's your specialty, Pooja?
So my specialty is Asian, though I'm really, really good at continental food. Like when I actually go to the range for continental, I make phenomenal fish and phenomenal continental food. But I love Asian, so we we have grown that vertical that a lot, and we make some really good dim sums and bows, and we also supply to lots of big food chains, and I'm very proud
Khyati
about
Kale.
that achievement because we've come in a market where dim sum and bao sab jagah milte, but ours really stands out, and
I hope we
yeah.
get to taste your cooking someday. And Khyati, you're the brain behind the brawn.
Not brains are equally both of us. I think mine is more of the daring, I would say,
Yes.
between the two of us. Like Pooja is amazing, and I've known this always, right? She's been my friend for 15 years. Like even if it's a simple lemongrass chai, I don't think I've had it better than what Pooja makes. And I'm not saying this only because she's my friend, but she's really good at what she does with food. She's just amazing. And I knew that if Pooja is there, we will definitely make money. She has the golden Midas touch. So I was very confident about that. So while I got into this, it was at the peak of my career in the industry of health and wellness because I had made a name for myself over there, and I really loved what I was doing. But then there came a point where that switch happens. So that switch happened. I said, "Chalo karte hain," and that's how we began.
So, you created the brand Gourmetly Yours.
Both equally created the brand.
No, like you're the one who's building the brand, I
Yeah,
would say.
So
So,
what she
more-
really brings to the table, I would say, is uh, the risk taking ability in a business, which is very important. She brings that. I like to play safe. हाँ ठीक है इतना है ना हो बस we are good to have this kind of a growth from 100 square feet to 800 square feet. That's her, because she will take that risk. She will push the team. She will go all out and no, we can do this. Let's do that. Let's so that ability, to look at it, dream bigger, like, and to be able to take the step for that dream. To, like I said, sab kar lete hain, but to take those difficult steps, like literally, we have worked some days for like more than 18 hours. We've been in the kitchen all night and gone for a meeting to like even Panvel after doing an all-nighter 8 o'clock सुबह में kitchen में wash up करके change करके we've gone all the way to Panvel and come back only at 4 and then back to the kitchen at 8. So to be able to actually do
It's
that.
a very, very hard thing to do, be a chef, be in the kitchen.
and to run a business, it's
and
not
to run a
easy.
business too.
Like it looks easier now, 1.5 years later, that oh wow, but it's been a lot
it's
of
hard
work.
It's
been
on
a
your
lot of
feet,
work,
in your
yeah.
hands, in the heat,
In the
and all that. Oh, it's hard work for sure.
Here I have a little advantage that I still am in the AC room while she's, out there in the heat. But I get to taste all the good food first,
That's your good
which
luck.
I think makes my day.
I hope there will come a time when I and my friends and my family get to taste your good food too.
We would be honored.
I've
We
done
would-
some.
Yes,
and
we would love
amazing
that.
cheeses we had, amazing cheese we had that you made, and loved it. Everybody, all my friends loved it.
Thank you.
And it was wonderful talking to the two of you. You're very inspirational, you're motivational, and I hope whoever's heard them or hearing them will know that sky's the limit. You can achieve whatever you put your mind to, even if you've been doing other things and finally find the stuff that you love. Go after your dreams, go after your passion. That's the takeaway I get from Pooja and Khyati. It's wonderful. Thank
Yes,
you.
lovely
Lovely
talking to
meeting
you.
you. Lovely talking to you,
Same
Pooja.
here.
Same here.
May you bloom and grow.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.